Definitely gotta go heavier. Man, 40. I can't see, the numbers are worn out, but pretty much I'm doing like a chestless press day and then some legs. So two things I've kind of learned is that, whoops. Two things I've kind of learned is that you can, okay, how about this? How do I put this? So when you're like training, what you can do is use isolations to kind of mix up the training. So let's say I already hit chest in the week and I also hit shoulders yesterday, right? Some people think you can't hit chest again because shoulders and triceps are gonna be tired. That's where isolations come in. You can use isolations to target the muscle without having to use muscles that are already fatigued and without using muscles that are already fatigued pretty much. Or fatiguing muscles that you're going to use for another exercise or workout. So you take out all the limiting factors. Not all of them, but some of them. So a lot of people don't recognize like you can just build muscle just using isolations. You don't have to use compounds. Compounds probably just make it like what? Even more efficient because you can hit multiple muscles at the same time. Alright. So today, hitting a little bit of chest and then legs. So if I can get a complete like chest work in, right? Which 2 or 3 exercises, but just 2 for today. And then nothing stopped me then from doing something with higher stimulus or higher fatigue. So I hit my chest first. That's not as strenuous. It's not gonna kill me. It's not gonna like burn me out. And then I go into legs, which is more fatiguing. And it's just hamstrings today. And like yesterday I did squats for my quads. And you know, there's not as much. This is like 2 compounds, but it's like I do bench one day and then pull-ups the next day. It's not gonna be a limiting factor on what I do today. So it's another way to program your workouts so that you're not always sticking to like that push-pull legs or to upper lower. You can combine almost any muscles you want to work together. You just want to make sure that you do the things that are more fatiguing later on, even if they're not necessarily the same muscle, because your deadlifts will probably affect your strength on like your deadlifts probably will affect your strength on leg press, or that's a leg press, on other exercises just because how tired you'll be after doing them. That's really about it. You can almost call today like a weakness day where I'm working on all my weaknesses. And I'm standing because if I were to just do it normally, it would just be a normal fly. So I'm standing so that I can get that angle and hit the upper chest. And after I hit my upper chest, I'm gonna go into the mid with pec deck. And I don't do anything for lower. I mean, I guess I could come back here. Get some lower flies in. You know, I don't do those often, so maybe I will. I'll go ahead and do that. But honestly, I could just stay here and do them so I don't have to move. That's really it. So another thing I'm doing is while I'm standing, like usually the problem with the standing cable flies is that you don't have much stability. So that's why it's preferred to do them seated, with your back supported, and it's on an incline. But right here, since I have the seat, I'm able to kind of like dig my leg into the seat, and it's able to give me some extra stability. So I think that's cool. It's just a part of like, you know, using what you have to be like a little bit creative. And even though it's limiting, you can still do what you want. So now I'm gonna do my chest flies in the middle, and then chest flies down. So But again, there's not much range of motion, so I might stand up and do them that way. Now stay seated. Alright, let's lower chest. I'll do it seated, and then I just have to lower the weight because it is a little bit more of a stretch coming in through here, or coming through here, I think. Still too light. Let's go 70. I'll do one more and then we'll go over to deadlift. I'm gonna warm up with 25. That should be okay. It's been a minute since I've done like barbell warm-ups and not like right after squatting or something. But warm up with this, try to build up to like maybe let's say 315 or maybe even 400 for like 4 reps. We'll see. Alright, probably just go ahead and do like 300, see how that feels, and then go from there. Alright, so what I did realize when I was playing it back is that my form was a little off. Maybe not off, but because my arms are so long, I tend to maybe not hinge all the way down as far as I can. So it might put a little bit more stress on my lower back. So I'll try to maybe get a little lower with my legs and my hips. And then also I didn't like make the conscious cues of packing my lats and like putting tension in my abs, which a lot of that is because at lighter weights, funny enough, I think my form fails a little bit more. Or maybe for a lot of people, because they're more confident in their strength and able to lift the weight. But when then you get to heavier weights, you're more cautious. So I guess it's just a matter of being cautious at every weight. You want to pick up 100 pounds the same way you pick up 400 and 500. Okay. I was just at a 4. I guess I wasn't expecting to be that heavy, huh? Scratch everything, I see about 400. but I'll probably just take a 25 off and then do a set of 6, and I'll call it there, honestly. Or I can do another one of these. I'm not really trying to go too crazy, especially since I probably really haven't eaten a whole lot, so not just today, but in general. And my legs have been kind of cooked this week, so I'm not wanting to take things too crazy, too far. Alright, now the only, I want to say negative, it's more of a nitpick. The only nitpick when it comes to training like too random, or not really random, but two muscle groups that aren't really necessarily associated, is you kind of lose your pump. So like my chest was like ballooned up. Now it's kind of subsided, but it's nothing crazy. But that's really about it. We'll do this last set. And we can use quads. I put my hamstrings up, bro. Hamstrings are lacking. So usually on the days I do squat, the only thing is I messed up my schedule. So I squatted yesterday when I was supposed to squat the day before yesterday. So after squatting, I'm supposed to do like RDLs. So I do RDLs after squatting, take a shoulder day, kind of like a rest, and then do deadlifts for like strength, because I want to be strong with deadlifts. So the only big 3 lift I'm not training is bench press. I expect the bench press to come up from just training chest, triceps, and also doing incline press on Smith machine. So going for deadlifts and squats, I'm actually going on my way to train them. For squats, I'm able to get away with that because I feel like my quads are in a good spot. But for deadlifts, I have to make sure to do RDLs. So I'm actually hitting my hamstrings, so I want them to grow. And then on a chest day like this, I can do deadlifts as well. Especially since the chest day is super short, usually it's only 2 exercises, but today I did 3. I think I might keep it with the 3 from now on. This why not? Because my chest, triceps, and shoulders are where I'm lacking. Quads, biceps, and back are dominant on me. So it's kind of like almost like a weakness day, except I'm not hitting triceps. But I might even hit shoulders. I hit shoulders yesterday, so I kind of incorporated triceps. So honestly, a nice split, I'm thinking about it, is first 2 workouts in your week are like your weaknesses, because that's when you're most fresh, is when you're strongest. So you start the week off with your weaknesses, and then you do your strength in the end of the week. Not to say like, because it's the beginning of the week, you're so much stronger, so much better, so much fresher, that it makes a big difference. But it's just a good way to address it and get it out the way, I guess. That's just the way you can do it though. And we can have days split up by your weaknesses. So if you're strong on one day, or if you're hitting a strength on one day, maybe your strengths, you can double them up. So if my strengths are quads and back, then maybe I can hit squats and back at the same days. More fatigue, but because you're hitting large muscle groups, but there's still strength, so I'm not too worried about that. And then have days dedicated to just hamstrings and shoulders and chest. But at the same time, not necessarily volume, but just intensity, because it's better that you have more frequency than if you have more volume. So maybe even the days where you hit your strengths, you also hit the weaknesses. So on the back day, I also do hamstrings. And then I do hamstrings first, of course. And then I still have a day where I do hamstrings. So you're hitting everything that you're weekend about twice a week. Which is kind of how I have it set up right now. Well, on leg days I do hamstrings, and then chest days I do hamstrings. So that was just a whole bunch of yapping there's lots of ways you can divide workouts. It doesn't always have to be the traditional splits that we always see. And also there's always the just train with the sore method. That also works perfectly fine too. even I haven't been here for that long. It's probably only been like 45 minutes. But I got some more chest work in. Then I got some more hamstrings in. So, and hinge, since they really do that. So, you don't always have to work out like forever. You can work out like 30 to 45 minutes. Especially if you're only hitting like 1 or 2 muscle groups. That's only 2 exercises each. Maybe even 1, 3 if you're feeling frisky. That's really about it. Oh, you're not in the window. You're fine.
No, I want to move.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't care.
Are you riding over there?
No, not really. I appreciate it.
You do.
I'm trying.
You should see how it looks from the back.
Thank you.